There's a question a lot of women ask me before they start a GLP-1, and it is not about the side effects, and it's not about the cost. It is this: what if I have to take this forever? That question is real, and I had it too. And today I want to answer it honestly, not to scare you, not to sell you something, just to tell you the truth so you can make the best decision for your own body. Welcome to Off Label with Fallon G, the MP. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. I'm Fallon, a nurse practitioner, dual board certified. I am in perimenopause. I am on my own GLP-1 journey with Mounjaro, and I'm a post-bariatric patient dealing with weight regain. The content in this video is meant for educational purposes only. It does not constitute medical advice. I am not your provider. Please speak with your provider before you make any changes to your healthcare plan, your medications, or your exercise regimen. Let's get into it. Now, I want to name the specific fears because they're not all the same thing. Some women fear being dependent on the medication forever and fear that their body won't work without it. Some women fear what we don't know yet. What if we find out in 10 years that there's this risk that we missed? Some women fear what using a GLP-1 says about them, like needing a long-term medication says something bad about who they are. Some women fear the cost of the medication. What if I need it for years and I can't afford it? And some women quietly fear what other people will think about them. All of these fears are real. None of them are silly. And I've held some of these fears myself. I've watched family members manage type 2 diabetes for years, decades. More pills every year, more doctors, more appointments. When I thought about starting a GLP-1, this image came up in my mind. I didn't want to start something I couldn't stop. I'm a nurse practitioner. I know the science of the medication. And I still had that fear sitting right next to me. So I understand being afraid of starting a long-term medication. I really do. And here is what I want you to know. The fear makes sense. You're not being dramatic, you're being human. But let's talk through it properly. Here's a question I want you to think about. If your blood pressure was too high and a medication brought it back down to a normal level and protected your heart, would you stop taking it because you were worried about being on it long term? Most people in this scenario would say no. They would keep taking it because the benefit is clear to them. Stopping the medication will bring the problem back. GLP-1s work the same way. Obesity is a medical condition, a chronic progressive disease. It is not a character flaw, and every major medical organization in the world says so, including the World Health Organization and the American Medical Association. When you treat a medical condition with the right medication, that is not failure, that is healthcare. We don't judge someone for taking blood pressure medication long term. We don't judge someone for taking thyroid medication long term. We don't say they failed. We say that they're taking care of themselves, that they're taking their health seriously. Taking a GLP-1 medication is no different. One study that they did called the Step 4 trial showed what happens when people stop a GLP-1 medication. Within 1 year, most people gained back 2/3 of the weight that they lost. And their blood pressure, their blood sugar, their cholesterol, all that went down with the medication and corrected itself, started to go back up, and the levels started to go in the wrong direction again. This tells us something important. The medication was working. When it stopped, the underlying condition came back. That is not a side effect of the medication. This is what a condition does without treatment. Now, I want to take each fear one at a time because I want to address each one properly. So the first fear I want to address: what if my body can't work without it? A GLP-1 medication is not addictive. Your body does not become dependent on it like some other drugs. What happens when you stop the medication is simpler than that. The condition that the medication was treating comes back. It's like stopping your blood pressure medication. Your blood pressure goes back up, not because your body is broken, but the condition was always there and the medication was managing it. What about long-term safety? GLP-1 medications have been used since 2005. The original drug, liraglutide, was approved almost 20 years ago. That is a lot of real-world data. Long-term studies show strong heart health benefits. The thyroid cancer risk that was found in studies was found in animal studies and has yet to be found in any human studies. And this is in 20 years of monitoring. Now, there are still things we will keep learning, especially as new medications are developed. But the long-term risk of untreated metabolic disease, heart attacks, stroke, diabetes, these are well documented. So that risk has to be weighed too when making this decision. What does this say about me if I have to take this forever? It says you have a health condition that requires medication to treat it. That's it. A woman who takes thyroid medication for life isn't judged for that. A woman who takes blood pressure medication for decades isn't judged. The only reason taking a GLP-1 feels like that is because for so long, weight has been treated like a willpower problem and not a disease. It is not a willpower problem. It is a medical problem. And treating a medical problem with medication is the right thing to do. What if I can't afford it forever? Now, this is a fair and practical concern. The cost of these medications is real, but the picture is changing. Insurance coverage is growing. Manufacturers' savings programs are available now. And in the next few years, lower cost versions of the medications are expected to come to market. This is a conversation worth having with your provider, including what your plan looks like if cost becomes a barrier for you. There are real options here, and you do not have to figure this out alone. Now, the fear I held most quietly was the third one. What does this say about me? I'm a nurse practitioner. I teach people about healthy living, about preventative care. The idea of being on a medication indefinitely felt like I failed at something that I was supposed to have figured out. What I had to work through was this. My own clinical knowledge told me that this was the right step for my body. My labs, my metabolic picture, the fact that I was in perimenopause. This decision was not a defeat. It was medicine. It was giving myself the proper health care. Now, here's something important I want you to know. Forever is not the only option. Long-term GLP-1 use does not mean the same dose for the rest of your life. No review and no choice. There are different paths, and the right one depends on your health, your labs, your habits, and a conversation with your provider. Let me walk you through some of the 3 most common paths that you can take on a GLP-1. Path number 1, stay on a low maintenance dose long term. Some women, especially those with higher metabolic risk, like myself, stay on the lowest dose that keeps their health markers in a good place. This is like staying on blood pressure medicine long term. The condition is managed, the medication continues, your labs are checked regularly, and this is not failure. This is long-term care. The second path that people can take is a slow taper with a plan in place. Now, what does this mean? Some women, especially those who have built strong habits while they were on the medication and who have a lower risk profile and have improved their labs, they can work with their provider to slowly reduce their dose, not stop cold turkey. A planned, monitored, step-down approach with clear signs for what to watch for. If their health markers start to shift in the wrong direction, the conversation happens early, not after things have reversed or gotten worse. The third path is a planned break with specific criteria. Some women have to take a break because of cost, family planning, maybe they're trying to get pregnant, or because now they want to try to manage their weight loss on their own. This path works best when it's done with full information. You and your provider agree ahead of time on what to watch for and what will signal that it's time to restart the medication. This is not a guessing game. This will be an actual plan. Here's the most important thing I want you to hear about these different paths I've talked about. The decision is not made the day you start the medication. Starting a GLP-1 medication is not signing a lifetime contract. It's saying yes to a tool that helps you right now with the understanding that the conversation about what happens next comes later and is revisited during your journey multiple times. When you have the data, when you have results, when you know how your body uses the medication. Starting is not a commitment forever. It is a decision to move forward today. You cannot fully control whether you need this medication long term. Your biology makes that call for you, not your willpower. But you can control what happens alongside the medication. And what happens alongside taking the medication is what shapes what your options are later. Here is what actually matters. Build muscle now. Muscle keeps your metabolism strong. Women who preserve their muscles while they're on a GLP-1 medication have more options as the journey goes along and when it comes to tapering down later. Protein at every meal. Resistance training twice a week. Track your labs. Your labs tell us the real story. Your hemoglobin A1C, your triglycerides, your lipid panel, your full liver panel, your liver enzymes. When those numbers improve and stay improved, you then have evidence that supports discussing a tapering plan or a strategy for tapering off the medication with your provider. Fix your sleep. Poor sleep raises your cortisol levels. High cortisol levels causes insulin resistance. Insulin resistance then makes everything harder in your body, including trying to taper the medication. Better sleep gives your body more to work with. Optimize your thyroid. Low thyroid puts a ceiling on what your results can be. Getting a full thyroid panel with your TSH, your free T3, and your free T4 is one of the most important things you can do to protect your long-term options. And make protein automatic. The women who do best when they're trying to taper these medications are the ones who have prioritized protein, who have habits that are so built in that it happens without thinking. Start building those habits now while the medication is there supporting you. The medication is the tool. The habits are what the tools help you build. Both matter. The medication alone is not enough, and habits alone, for many women, are not enough either. That is why both exist together. So the question was, will I be on a GLP-1 medication forever? And the honest answer is maybe and maybe not, and that is okay. For some women, long-term medication is the right path for treating a real condition. For others, the right habits and the right labs open a door for lower dose options or a step-down plan. For others, a well-planned break makes sense. None of these paths is a failure. All of them are healthcare. What I want for you is not a specific answer to that question right now. I want you to start or continue with full information, to know what your options are, to know and understand that the decision isn't made today and then locked in forever, and understand that you have more say in how this journey goes than how the fear is making it feel. If the long-term questions is the thing that's keeping you from starting or keeping you up at night because you're already on the medication, I want to talk about it with you directly. That is exactly the kind of conversation that the Clarity Consult is for. Your specific situation, your specific question. One focused call. Link is in the description below if you're interested. Drop a comment below and tell me which fear you carry the most. The dependency one, the safety one, the cost one, or the what does it say about me one. I read every single comment, and I love to know that I'm not the only one that has these fears. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.